Hello and welcome to this important video on why the Western world must protect democracy in Africa, most particularly in Nigeria. It's no secret that the Nigerian political landscape has been plagued by corruption and violence for years, and it's time for the world to take notice. There is urgent need for justice in Nigeria's 2023 election. The recent elections in Nigeria have been marred by allegations of injustice, banditry, thuggery, and hooliganism. It is time for the people's wish to prevail, and for rogue politicians who engage in such activities to be brought to book and face the full wrath of the law, regardless of their office or political holdings. Immediate justice is needed in the 2023 Nigeria's election conducted by INEC. The election should be scrutinized thoroughly, and any evidence of injustice, banditry, thuggery, and hooliganism should be investigated and the perpetrators brought to justice. The wishes of the people must be respected and reflected in the outcome of the election. Rogue politicians who engage in these tactics to gain power must not be allowed to go unpunished. They must be held accountable for their actions and made to face the consequences of their deeds. It is time for justice to be served, and for these individuals to be made an example of, as a deterrent for others who may be tempted to use these same tactics to come into power and continue to impoverish the people and destroy the economy of Africa. The Nigerian government, and the judiciary, in conjunction with international bodies, must ensure that justice is served and that those who engage in electoral malpractices are punished accordingly. This will not only help to deter future occurrences, but also help to restore the people's faith in the electoral process and the justice system. Justice must be immediate and urgent in Nigeria's 2023 election. The recent elections in Nigeria have been marred by allegations of injustice, banditry, thuggery, and hooliganism. The wishes of the people must be respected, and rogue politicians who engage in such activities must be brought to book and face the full wrath of the law. What is happening in Nigeria behind the scenes is thuggery, hooliganism, and transactional selection of leaders by rogue politicians. The raising of banditry groups as organs of intimidation to forcefully seize power from the people is a common occurrence in Nigerian politics. The consequences of this are dire, not just for Nigerians but for the entire African continent. The Western world has a responsibility to help Nigeria and other African countries protect their democracies. Democracy is not just a Western value. It is a universal value that everyone deserves to have. The Western world must not turn a blind eye to the challenges that African democracies face. One way the Western world can help is by providing support to the Nigerian government in building strong institutions that can resist corruption and withstand political pressure. This support could come in the form of technical assistance, training, and funding. By doing this, the Western world can help ensure that the rule of law is upheld and that those who break it are held accountable. Plight of the poor masses in Nigeria and across Africa. It is no secret that the people of these nations are being weakened by the day by the wicked politicians who seek to suppress their voices and deny them the right to defend their native land. These rogue politicians, who are disguised as leaders, have implemented policies that have left the poor masses downtrodden and impoverished. Their only aim is to serve their selfish interests and maintain their hold on power, even if it means emptying the treasuries and oil wells. The situation in Nigeria and across Africa is dire, and the poor masses need urgent help. The West must come to their rescue and provide support to those who are struggling to survive. The Western world has a responsibility to stand up for the rights of these people and ensure that they are not forgotten. One way the West can help is by providing aid and support to grassroots organizations that are working to defend the rights of the poor masses. These organizations need funding, resources, and technical assistance to be able to carry out their work effectively. The West can also use its influence to pressure the Nigerian and African leaders to implement policies that are beneficial to the poor masses. This means speaking out when human rights abuses occur, and when policies that are detrimental to the well-being of the people are implemented. Furthermore, the West can assist in educating the people about their rights and empowering them to speak out against injustices. This can be done by supporting educational programs that teach people about their rights and help them understand how they can defend themselves against oppression. The poor masses in Nigeria and across Africa are being weakened by the day by the actions of wicked politicians. The West must come to their rescue by providing support to grassroots organizations, using its influence to pressure leaders to implement policies that are beneficial to the people, and assisting in educating the people about their rights. Together, we can help the poor masses to rise up and defend themselves against oppression. Please share this video with others who care about the plight of the poor masses in Nigeria and Africa. The Western world can also provide support to civil society organizations and human rights groups that are working to promote democracy and protect the rights of Nigerians. These organizations are often under threat from those who seek to silence them, and they need our support. Democracy is a fundamental principle that is essential for the growth and development of any society. In Africa, democracy has been threatened by various factors, such as poor governance, corruption, and political instability. This has led to an erosion of democratic values and an increase in human rights abuses, including the suppression of free speech and peaceful protests. It is imperative that Western institutions and organs of government come to the rescue of democracy in Africa. The West has a moral obligation to promote democratic values and human rights globally, and Africa is no exception. By supporting democracy in Africa, the West can help to promote stability, security, and prosperity on the continent. One of the ways that Western institutions and organs of government can help to promote democracy in Africa is by providing financial and technical support to democratic institutions, such as election management bodies, civil society organizations, and the media. These institutions play a critical role in promoting transparency, accountability, and citizen participation in the electoral process. Furthermore, the West can use diplomatic and economic leverage to pressure African governments to respect democratic values and human rights. This can be done through sanctions of wicked politicians from traveling, aid conditionality, and diplomatic isolation of regimes that engage in human rights abuses and undermine democratic principles. Moreover, the West can play a role in promoting regional integration and cooperation, which can help to foster democratic values and promote peace and stability in Africa. Through the African Union and other regional bodies, the West can provide technical and financial support for conflict prevention and resolution mechanisms, which can help to prevent the outbreak of conflicts that threaten democratic gains. Western institutions and organs of government must come to the rescue of democracy in Africa. By promoting democratic values and human rights, providing financial and technical support to democratic institutions, using diplomatic and economic leverage to pressure African governments, and promoting regional integration and cooperation, the West can help to promote stability, security, and prosperity in Africa. It is time for the West to take action and support democracy in Africa, for the sake of the continent's people and its future. Finally, the Western world must use its influence to pressure Nigerian leaders to respect democratic principles and to hold free and fair elections. This means speaking out when elections are rigged or when human rights abuses occur. In conclusion, the Western world has a crucial role to play in protecting democracy in Nigeria and across the African continent. By providing support to build strong institutions, protect civil society organizations, and pressure leaders to respect democratic principles, we can help ensure that Nigerians have the right to choose their leaders freely and fairly. Thank you for watching, and please share this video with others who care about democracy and human rights.